The tobacco in this cigarette comes from right here in Malawi. The money I earn picking tobacco is very little compared to the price of this pack.
In the southern African country of Malawi, tobacco is the major export crop, responsible for 70% of all export earnings. Agriculture is the mainstay of Malawi's economy, accounting for over 90% of GDP. Out of a population of 11 million, the majority of Malawians are farmers, and 7 million owe their livelihoods to the tobacco industry. But economic dependency on tobacco has not brought the country wealth. According to the World Bank, over 60% of Malawians live below the poverty line, with limited access to land, little education, and poor health. With the global tobacco market worth around $400 billion a year, Malawians are now questioning if the wealth promised from growing tobacco always goes up in smoke. Every year, Malawi's tobacco growers bring thousands of bales to the Lilongwe auction floors for sale to the major leaf buyers. US subsidiary Limbe Leaf is the largest tobacco buyer in Malawi.
Malawi exports tobacco and sells tobacco to over 70 countries worldwide. The major players in this country are Philip Morris, BAT, Japan Tobacco, the New Imperial Group, the Chinese, the Turkish monopoly. If there's any country that should grow tobacco till the last tobacco leaf is produced, it should be Malawi, because it is the lifeblood of the country.
British colonizers introduced tobacco into Malawi over 100 years ago. When the country got its independence in 1964, President for Life Kamuzu Hastings Banda took control of the tobacco estates. He increased cultivation and made the country even more economically dependent on the crop. When Banda was ousted in 1994, critics began to question who exactly benefited from growing tobacco in the new democratic Malawi.
Over the last 2 decades, the Malawi government, knowing the harmful impact of tobacco and knowing the poor returns on tobacco on its country, has increased the land under cultivation slowly and steadily, making Malawi a more impoverished country as it becomes more dependent on tobacco and not a wealthier country. The proof is very clear. It is one of the poorest countries in the world, and it's also one of the most indebted to tobacco.
One of the major critics of the tobacco industry is the Malawi Consumers Association.
When you look at this economy, do you see anything smelling tobacco? Do you see anywhere that this economy is booming because of tobacco? It's a sick economy. We should be saying, yes, this economy is doing well because of tobacco, because our education system is good, our people are living better, but our economy is going down year and year. I think the tobacco industry in Malawi has taken advantage of the poor grower.
In Malawi, according to US government figures, tobacco leaf exports have gone up. But export revenue from tobacco has fallen steadily. Over the past decade, a massive increase in global tobacco production, encouraged by the tobacco industry, has resulted in a worldwide oversupply and a corresponding decline in tobacco prices. This has inevitably meant less money for the growers. 200 miles north of the Lilongwe auction floors, tenant farmer Miriam Mirota lives on the Dapilira tobacco growing estate with her husband and 4 children.
I don't profit from the work I do. We work all year, but in the end we get nothing because the crop we grow gets low prices on the auction floors. Sometimes we make so little